Hi everyone, 안녕하세요. This is Ava from Glow with Ava and welcome to my channel here. I haven't filmed a YouTube video in months, but I felt like this was a video that I really had to get out because it's an important video. I've tested a lot of sunscreens and it's something that I'm passionate about. So I definitely wanted to create more of a long form video for you guys today on all the mineral sunscreens that I've tested so far this year. And this year I feel like every week there was like a new sunscreen launch. So I did test a lot, but I wanted to kind of review a little bit more in depth 15 of those sunscreens that I have tested. And personally, I do have pretty sensitive skin. So whenever I have the opportunity to test a mineral sunscreen and fall in love, I will not let the opportunity go. So that is why, my priority is to be able to find a good mineral sunscreen. But honestly, because of the white cast that mineral sunscreens do give, I still find myself, using more chemical sunscreens. But in today's video, I am covering a lot of mineral sunscreens that I actually did fall in love with and is almost as good or better than some of the chemical sunscreens I do own. So this is a sequel to the mineral sunscreens video that I did last year. If you guys want to see those pics from last year, then definitely go check that out because I do have sunscreen pics from there that I'm still using to this day. But today I am solely focusing on the new launches of 2022 and sunscreens that I have never reviewed ever before on this channel. So with that, let's get started. I have a full little basket of mineral sunscreens, and I'm not going to give like a full overview of what mineral sunscreens are, but basically they are a blend of either titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, or a combination of both. There's a lot of different terminologies that can go behind each particle as well, which we're not going to get too scientific today, but I will put together in each sunscreen kind of an overview so that you can see the price point, the breakdown of the ingredients, etc, etc. And with all of these, I'm going to give a rating with every one, and that rating is a combination of the texture, the finish, how comfortable it is, how wearable it is, the price point, the ingredient list. So there's just like so many factors that go into how I determine that rating. And the rating aside, for me, the best test of a sunscreen is honestly one that you will want to wear. So if you can afford a $60 sunscreen and you love it, then yes, go for it. But if you're kind of in a tighter budget and you want to go for something that's in the $15 to $20 range and you still don't mind it, then go for that. So it's just one that you can afford, you feel comfortable in, and you will actually wear every single day. Also, before I start, look at how cute these earrings are. I just got them. They're so cute. It has SPF written on it. All right, so let's start. I have a little note card of things I'm going to be discussing today, and I definitely don't want to keep this long. I feel like I've been rambling for so long already. So let's go with our first one. The first one is the Biossance Mineral Sunscreen. So I am cheating a little bit here because this did launch last year, but I realized I never reviewed this in full. And spoiler alert, this is probably one of my favorites out there, which is why I just had to include it in today's video. This is a reef-safe mineral zinc oxide sunscreen and plant-based, plant-derived squalene. Biossance is known for their squalene, so it includes that hydration in. Also got the antioxidants for it. And for this big tube, it's actually pretty affordable in my opinion. It's $36 for this 100mm sunscreen, and I feel like with these days it's hard to find one that is, good, no white cast, no pilling, plant derived. And I feel like these days it's kind of hard to come across a sunscreen with that kind of affordable price point. So, you'll see how well this applies. There's essentially no white cast to this at all. It wears really well under makeup. It's hydrating all day, especially for my dry skin too. So, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but I am giving this a rating of 5 out of 5. So very strong start to our video today. Next one, and I know a lot of you guys are probably coming to watch this video to see my full review of the Tatcha Silk Sunscreen. I was very excited for this because you guys know I love a lot of Tatcha products. This packaging is also so pretty. It reminds me of all their primers that they do have, and it makes sense because this is actually like a primer in my mind. It is a sunscreen, but it also acts as a great makeup primer. So if you're someone who loves wearing heavy makeup, definitely try using this because it leaves your skin looking actually poreless. It's got this like little pink undertone that kind of gives the most silkiest, lovely finish and acts as a great primer. The only downside of this one is that it is expensive. It's $60 for 50 millimeters. So, you know, the Biossance one is double the amount of this for half the price point. So essentially this is like 4 times more than the Biossance. So yeah, it's a lot. It is a lot, and I love both of these options so much, but definitely this one is more for people who like the poreless, you know, sheen, and you can wear this on itself sometimes as well, not with this one. Another problem I have with this sunscreen is the packaging. You know, it's chic. I love how, you know, little this is, so it's great for traveling, but every time I use it, this kind of spills out. It doesn't spill out of the bottle necessarily, but it's hard to control the amount that you want to use with that. But besides that, I just wish I didn't love this as much, but I really love it dearly. So because of the price point, I'm gonna give it a 4.8 out of 5. Next is TIZO. This, I feel like a lot of people may not have heard about. I bought this in December of last year because a friend recommended it to me. This one is a non-tinted version. And just as background, TIZO stands for titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, which is combined makes it TIZO. And with this, they have a lot of different formulations. So they have the tinted version, untinted, etc. I got the untinted one because I really wanted to test it, because I think when you're testing a new brand, the best way to see how good it is to actually try the non-tinted one to see if it leaves a white cast, etc. Because with most mineral sunscreens, a lot of them will come with a tint to, you know, make sure you don't get that white cast. With this one, it really is not that much white cast, but it's almost like a souffle texture that even though you feel like there's going to be some cast, within 30 seconds to a minute, it completely dissolves right into your skin. It literally melts like butter, and it melts in a way that gives a matte finish. And a lot of the ones here today is going to be more of a dewy, glowy finish, but this is the one that actually gives a very, very matte finish. Not in a bad way, but because it's also good to wear under makeup. I think with this one, you know, literally all skin types can use it, even though it does have a matte finish. It is SPF 40, water resistant, and even though it is water resistant, you don't get that sticky feeling at all. It just, I don't know, it's just so underrated in my opinion. So if you get a chance to get this, definitely get it, because I have a feeling this is a sunscreen that people are going to discover and try to gatekeep. Honestly, I have been gatekeeping this for like the past 6 months because you never really hear me talking about this, but this is actually my second bottle. This one, I'm gonna give it another 4.8 out of 5 because I wish it had a little bit more of a dewy texture, but besides that, it's pretty perfect. Next, we have the Josie Maran Sun Milk. This is Josie Maran's first sunscreen product, which I was so excited about because they do have their signature jojoba oil and kakadu extracts in this. So, you know, the antioxidant power is very high. I knew it was going to be very hydrating on my skin as soon as I saw the ingredient list. This one does have a lower SPF of 33. For me, because I love the sun, I like going outside in the sun, I just feel more comfortable wearing an SPF 50 or higher than just solely relying on an SPF 30. So besides that point, this one is a formulation of titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, both pretty low actually. And another problem that I do have with this one is that it's in a glass bottle. None of the sunscreen I'm discussing today will come in a glass bottle, and I don't know, maybe it's brown, maybe they have something like shielded in here, but that was just like something that I was like, whoa, sunscreen in a glass bottle? I'm not sure how well that would last, but this is just something that I'm like keeping in the darkest corner because I don't want it to oxidize or anything. It's a pretty funny story because I was actually using it just kind of on its own without a moisturizer, and with that I just felt like it wasn't, as hydrating as I wish, but I also was testing this in the dead of winter. Now that I'm testing it more and my skin is not as dry, it is actually pretty hydrating. But the major problem with this one is that it does pill. I've used it almost every single time. It pills a lot. So because of that, this is just not something that I'm going to be reaching for a lot. I love their other products, but their sunscreen, not something I'm reaching for. So with that in mind, I'm giving this 2.9 out of 5. Another very hyped up product is the Summer Fridays one. They just launched it last week or 2 weeks ago with this one. It's their Mineral Milk Sunscreen and their first sunscreen product, which I'm so excited about. I feel like all of the Summer Fridays products are so aesthetic. They go well so together, and even this color was perfect for a sunscreen launch. Once again, I don't like the fact that it is SPF 30, so I am not using this as a sunscreen alone. Maybe in the winter time, yes. Besides that point though, this truly has more of a serum, fluidy texture, so it's going to glide on your skin. Very hydrating as well. It's formulated with zinc oxide, squalene, and also has the vitamin E that's going to be very good for protecting your skin against the sun too. The way I like to use it, oh, also by the way, this has a little bit of a tint, which is pretty universal in my opinion. I think, you know, pale skin, darker skin tones can all use this kind of tint. And because of that, what I would typically do is go in with a base layer of SPF 50 like this, and then on top of that I'll go in with this, just more of like a tint and extra sunscreen protection. But besides that, I think this is beautiful. I really think people are going to love this sunscreen, and yeah, good job Summer Fridays. But because of the slightly lower SPF, I'm going to give this 4.2 out of 5. I know I'm really getting into the decimals, but yeah, it's just hard. Next we have the Murad Environmental Shield. I think this is their first sunscreen. If not, correct me, because I've never tried a sunscreen from Murad, but I do like a lot of their products. They just launched some supplements that I'm taking recently too, so I really like that. This is SPF 45 PA4 pluses. Oh, by the way, I just want to shout out that in the US, you're not required to actually test for PA ratings. It's just the US is behind, but I appreciate it when US based sunscreen companies actually do the PA test. So they did the PA test, same for Tatcha. Really appreciate that. So did TIZO. But you know, as you can see, like the Josie Maran, they're not going to do the PA testing. They don't have that. Summer Fridays, same thing. They don't have the PA rating. Let me just bring up another sunscreen that I have. You know, you'll see the Korean sunscreen like this. Korean sunscreens, you will not find a single Korean sunscreen that does not have an actual PA rating. So these are all PA4 pluses. I think the higher the PA is better. So I typically look for something that is PA4 pluses or higher, which the Murad one does. This one gave a really nice glowy finish. The texture is kind of more of like a what do you call it? This is a lot more fluidy. This one has a little bit more of like the heavy texture, which honestly, in a sunscreen, I kind of like it when it's not too liquidy. You know, when it's too liquid, I feel like it's just gonna kind of fall off my face. It's not gonna wear that well under makeup. It's just something that I like. Obviously not too sticky. Only thing is, this does have a little bit of that strong like mineral sunscreen scent. I don't know how to describe it, but like once you smell it, you'll definitely know what I'm talking about. It has a sunscreen smell. It's not unpleasant, but it's not like something that I look forward to smelling, if you know what I mean. But the ingredient list here is stunning, and I think this is a very good example of truly like skincare ingredients meets sunscreen. Only problem is that this is $69. It is so expensive. So expensive for something that is 30 millimeters. I mean, it's literally less than Tatcha. 30 millimeters for $69, like it's a lot for me. So that's why, even though the formula and everything is great, I'm gonna have to give this a 3.9 out of 5. But because I have this ready and I did get this gifted, it is something that I'm definitely going to be reaching out for to protect my skin. So if you can afford it, then go for it. Next, we have the Lancer sunscreen. So Lancer is, Dr. Lancer is a dermatologist, really high quality products. If you haven't tried their skincare or even body products, definitely try it out. I think his formulations are amazing. I think this is his first sunscreen product as well, so I was very excited. Only downside, once again, SPF 30, wish it was higher. Despite that, I really, really, really like this sunscreen. It is something that I'm really reaching out for. So I'm obviously gonna wear something with an SPF 50 underneath, or sometimes I'll even layer this twice because this layers phenomenally well, wears really well under makeup. It's actually the sunscreen that I have on under here today too. This one is a mineral sunscreen with zinc oxide, but does have a universal tint. So it's a tint similar to the Summer Fridays that is going to work well with a lot of skin tones. This one, compared to the Summer Fridays, though, I think I like this one more, even though it is a lot it's more expensive. It's $60 because of the texture. This is definitely more of like a serumy liquidy texture. This one is, you know, it has that like creamy texture, but it's not sticky, it's not too thick, it's just the right amount. And I like the tint in this one a little bit more than the Summer Fridays one. It's just a tint that kind of wears better. You guys can compare the two slides to see how it actually looks on my skin. This one kind of gives a little bit more of like that healthier glow that absorbs right into my skin. So because of that, I'm going to give this a 4.9 out of 5, despite the fact that it is lower of an SPF. I was just truly impressed by the sunscreen. Next we have the Wander Beauty one. Wander Beauty, you know, I love their gold eye mask. I haven't tried too much of their skincare, but I was very intrigued by this new sunscreen because it is a priming SPF. It is broad spectrum SPF 40. Love that. 50 millimeters for $36, which I think is a pretty good price point. This one is formulated with titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and also has vitamin D. So I love that. I love it when sunscreens have a little bit of vitamin D, because you still want your skin to get the vitamin D that it's not getting from too much sun protection. With this one, it does have a little bit of, let me show you what it looks like. You know, I figured I should show kind of like in person too. I'm just gonna rub a little bit on my arms. As you can see, it does have that like nice tint. It's got more of like an apricot peachy tint. So it's really interesting to see what kind of tints these companies come out with and how it wears on my skin. I like the tint. It wears really well under makeup. But when I compare this one to this one and how well it wears under makeup and the lasting power, I still have to say the Tatcha does better than the Wander Beauty in a way. But this one still is a lot better price point. But this one is something that did surprise me for the better. So with that, I am going to give the Wander Beauty 4 out of 5. Next, we have the Avene Mineral Sunscreen. Avene is a skincare brand that is perfect for those who have rosacea, sensitive skin, which is basically my profile. I really enjoy how gentle their products are. Even their retinol products are super gentle. Very excited to test this one with SPF 50. It is UVA and UVB both protection and formulated in Paris. It's fragrance-free, oil-free. So on paper, it seems perfect. This one, however, I feel like just left too much white cast. So I know it's good for my skin, but it's just not something that I'm reaching for every day because I have all of these other better options. It is obviously at a pretty good price point. I feel like all of them products are priced pretty well, and the formulation is great with 12% zinc oxide, but because of the white cast, it's just not something for me. But if you do have more pale skin, rosacea prone, then I do recommend this one. For me, it's not something I'm going for, which is why I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. Next, we have another Australian sunscreen. You know, Australia has really strict rules when it comes to sunscreen, and they don't have the restrictions that the US has when it comes to formulating sunscreens and selling them outside, because in the US, sunscreen is categorized as a drug, while as, you know, in Europe, Australia, and Korea, they're not categorized as a drug. So there's a lot more that they can do with it, leading to better formulations. Very excited to try this Australian sunscreen. And it is a sheer lotion with SPF 50 and water resistant for 80 minutes as well. This is a very good price point. It is 50 millimeters and it's currently on sale for $15. So one of the most affordable options I have for you guys today. this does leave a white cast, but I think despite that, it is a great option, first of all, for those who are on a budget. Second, for those who have sensitive skin, rosacea prone skin, aging skin. I think this is a phenomenal product. It is a blend of titanium dioxide and zinc oxide, and despite the fact that it does have a little bit of white cast, it is still sheer in a sense, so it is a lot less heavier than this one. This one feels slightly heavier on the skin. This one has more of like that fluidy sheer formula, so the white cast will definitely go away in like less than 5 minutes. So if you're looking for an affordable mineral sunscreen that with really good ingredients, this one is from Australia, so it's just one that I absolutely trust. I have tried some of their other body products. I'm still testing. The spray is not my favorite because it just gives a little more of a white cast than I would like, but besides that, like this, for the price point, it's a yes for me, so I'm gonna give it a 4.3 out of 5. Ooh, next one is this one. I know you guys have been excited for this one. ILIA, I've talked about this a lot in my channel so far, and this is one of the first sunscreens that ILIA is launching, besides their foundation with SPF 40, which by the way is my favorite product ever. That compared to this one is SPF 40, so same SPF in that sense. That one also has a really good skincare ingredient list, you know, with the squalene and niacinamide. This one also has the niacinamide, vitamin C. It's really good. For some reason though, I like the other one more. I mean, obviously it's a foundation, so I love how it's a sunscreen and a foundation in one. This one definitely, you just have to shake really vigorously. I have this in tone 2, and tone 2 is literally the most perfect match for my skin tone, especially since I'm a little bit more tan after Hawaii. However, this one is a little bit too liquidy for my liking. And as I mentioned earlier, when something is too liquidy, I just feel like it's just not gonna wear that well or like stick to my skin. But besides that, if you're just looking for something quick to wear outside where you don't want to look dead, this one is going to give you the right amount of tint, but with the sunscreen protection. The tint really is not that high though, I just want to tell you. It gives a very sheer kind of glazed donut look. That's kind of like the best way to put this. So I kind of like to use like a normal sunscreen under and then use a little bit on top of this, because it's just like a glaze that you put on given how liquidy this one is. It is, you know, 30 millimeters, so like you're not getting that much out of this bottle. I like the refillable packaging. I think this packaging is super cool. The way you pump it out like this and disperse it. As you can see, it feels like it's going to be like a heavier coverage, but it really isn't. The coverage is not that high, so it's not overwhelming in any way. Because I like their foundation more, and this one is just not something that I'm literally grabbing for every single day, I'm gonna give this 4 out of 5. Another one that I have for you is this brand called Solara. I actually don't have the sunscreen with me today because it's at home, but they are a new brand to me this year, and they're solely focused on sunscreen, clean sunscreen ingredients from them. I do have this lip serum with them that is SPF 15. We're not covering lip products today, but in the next video I'll show you guys other ways to reapply your sunscreen, including something like this. This one is clean. I like the ingredients, and it does leave a slight white cast, but it's not bad. It does have a little bit of a peachy, very, very minimal peachy tone, but in that sense, I kind of see this more as like a tone-up sunscreen because the way it brightens my skin and evens out my complexion is beautiful. So that's just something that I'm still testing a little bit more, but wanted to kind of bring out a highlight for this new sunscreen brand that I've been kind of impressed with lately too. Another one is ILIA. ILIA, love their oil, their squalene oil. It's one of my favorite oils out there. They launched a sunscreen, clean sunscreen. I was like, yes, sign me up. Their packaging is beautiful. It's orange. I don't have it with me right now either. Sunscreen SPF 30 in a big bottle. I was like, oh, I really want to try this. Did not realize that this is actually for more people who are serious about sunscreen, so like outdoor activities, beach day, that kind of stuff. When I put it on my skin, I was like, wait, this white cast is too much. It didn't blend out really well, so I was like, what? I was so confused. And then I later realized they just had a different intention for this product launch, which makes sense. However, if even on a serious beach day or mountain day, if I really wanted something, I just don't think I'm gonna go for that because it's also SPF 30. I want to go for something with a higher SPF coverage, maybe even the sunscreen spray, or like maybe this one that didn't really work out for my skin that still doesn't leave that big of a white cast, something that can spread easily. This one just like I had trouble spreading easily. So yeah, I do have a little bit of mixed opinions on this one. It's just not something that I'm really reaching for, so I do hope they come out with a better sunscreen option, but you know, honestly, right now it's just not something that I can see myself really using this summer. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. Last one I have for you guys today is not like a sunscreen, like a liquid sunscreen like I've been talking about, but it is a sunscreen spray. But I did have to mention this because it is Trader Joe's. I tested this last year and I got another one for this summer. I just think for, you know, $9.99, it's a great option. I just want to put it out there. This is going to be in your checkout aisle. So if you see this, just get it, try it out. It's actually pretty good. You know, the spray is good for reapplying. I just wish they had a smaller travel size so I can just put it in my bag at all times. I want more travel size sunscreen sprays is what it is. Everything comes in this big size. But for me, I just like spraying myself when I'm walking outside or taking a walk to Central Park. But if you want something to cover your whole family for the summer for a really, really good price, this is zinc oxide and minerals, so it's great for your kids too. Just putting it out there, there's just, sometimes a lot of Trader Joe's products are underrated. And this one has aloe, grapefruit oil, and vitamin E, so the ingredient list looks pretty good. 15% of zinc oxide. You know, it's not bad. Let me show you. See? The spray disperses really well and it's not bad at all. And with that, I am going to conclude my mineral sunscreen review for 2022. Make sure to wear your sunscreen, stay out of the sun if you can, and until next, I will come back to you with more helpful skincare videos. In Jello Skin, we trust. Thank you so much, guys. Bye.